Live is KTVU political analyst Brian Sobel. So what are we expecting the president? We know immigration is one of the topics, but what are we expecting to hear from him tonight?
I think he's going to be what Donald Trump is on these stump speeches. You know, he'll fire the crowd up. He'll say a lot of things that tomorrow people will say, did he say that again last night? I thought he was moving on. You know, this will be the second time after a very good speech that he's had a rally, and we will see whether he's learned the lesson from the last time that, hey, why don't you just continue to build on the bump that you get from giving a really nice speech.
Exactly, because there are some people who say he will take one step forward and then two steps back, and doesn't he run that risk tonight by, just for lack of a better word, kind of going rogue, going off the beaten path, if you will, being Donald Trump?
For many people in the United States, especially those who don't support Donald Trump, they're expecting that tonight. He can really throw a curveball by doubling down on the kind of speech he gave yesterday. But that was very prepared, and tonight he's going to be viscerally taking in all of the happiness in the crowd and his support. We'll see whether he can kind of keep it within the lines, as they say. Yeah,
because it's two different types of formats. Last night was a teleprompter that he was reading off of, so they were saying teleprompter Trump, versus tonight, which will be more of the campaign-style rally. But there were critics today who said that the president called him a flip-flopper, saying that, you know, he wasn't, when he came out last night saying with his new strategy for Afghanistan, saying that, you know, he said last night in his speech that he agonized over this and studied the situation there, because during his campaign he said he was more withdrawing troops and pulling back. But last night said he really studied the situation for months and felt that the situation has changed, and that a stronger game plan was needed for the situation in Afghanistan.
Well, let's face it, this president isn't going to get a pass on anything. Some people might say, hey, you know, you're evolving. We like evolution. We like that you learned something. He talked last night about how when you sit behind the desk at the Oval Office, you become a different person. Absolutely true. But that opens them up to, hey, he's flip-flopping and that sort of thing. I think the real story here, when you talk with people in D.C. and other places who are on the inside, they will tell you that he has tremendous respect for the military. And they came in there and said, Mr. President, you don't want to give away 16 years of American blood and toil and money by just walking away from this thing. And that was his inclination in the beginning, and he evolved. Maybe we should celebrate that a little bit.
Well, people evolve with their thinking.
Yes.
I mean, everyone does. And,
right.
And that can be seen, I think, as a good thing, as opposed, people can characterize it as flip-flopping, but the president did say last night, you know what, my instinct was to pull everyone out, but then I realized when you get behind the desk and it's your decision, it's a little more difficult than I thought.
Well, and that goes back to what we've talked about a lot over the last couple of years, and that is that you can think you know what the presidency is all about, but when you get in there and you're being awakened every night by some world problem on, you know, on the other side of the world, and every problem that comes to you is something somebody else couldn't solve. It's a very heavy responsibility.
Just one more thought. Tonight's rally comes in Arizona, a state where two Republican senators have been very critical of President Trump, John McCain and Jeff Flake. Your thoughts for the administration wanting to hold a rally in Arizona tonight?
And neither of them, by the way, will be at the rally tonight.
No surprise there. Arizona was very important to Donald Trump right from the very beginning. He has a good base there. A lot of people say Arizona is going purple, but there's still a huge red contingent there, a lot of Republicans there. And when you talk with people who live in Arizona and are office holders in Arizona, which I've done, they're huge supporters of Donald Trump, not to say that everybody is. So he's going where he knows he's going to find a very good audience.
For those who don't know, what does that mean, going purple?
Oh, I'm sorry. What's happening is that the red state, the Republican state, is starting to shift to more Democrats, to away from electing all Republicans. Arizona for years elected all Republicans. Sort of like if California started going more red, we might be a purple state because every office holder is a Democrat.
All right.
Brian, thank you. We'll
Absolutely.
see you again at 6.
Thank you.
Absolutely.